This conference will now be recorded.
So who asked if you could hear? So whoever said that,
I
we could hear.
It's Dennis.
Yes, Dennis, we could hear you. And I see that you just muted yourself now. But we could hear you when you unmuted.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep, hear you. We can hear you fine now.
So I'm on double baby duty at the moment. I'm here. I'm listening, but I was wondering if somebody else could take minutes today.
Well, I'll take it from the recording of the meeting. I'll go back and listen to the recording and take the minutes off the recording. So don't worry about it.
I appreciate it. My apologies, but I'm just there's no way I can be typing at the moment. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm glad you're on the call. So seeing no public comment, I heard back everyone had approved the minutes of 5/20 of the last meeting. Anyone else? Hello, Cecil. How are you? Cecil.
Hi. How are you?
Cecil Wade is joining us as a guest tonight, and there's Carrie from vacation.
Hello.
Suntanned. So so you're perfect. So we're just so we've had no public comment and approved the minutes. We have to elect officers that we were supposed to have done at the April meeting that we did not hold. So the officers are what do we have? Who's on?
Chairman and secretary.
I'm chair, and Dennis is secretary.
Yep.
So do I have any nominations for chair of the Darien TV79 Advisory Board?
I nominate Mike Wheeler.
I second it.
Are there any other nominations? Then I'll call a vote. All voting for Mike Wheeler, say aye.
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 Thank you very much. Dennis, do you want to?
No, I'll say aye to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dennis, will you? Are you interested in running again as secretary?
I can do that. Yeah, just not tonight. Sorry.
But then listen, not everybody gets mentioned in the valedictorian address of a at a high school as her favorite teacher of all time.
Salutatorian, but I'm a very lucky guy.
Yeah. So I nominate Dennis as the secretary. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any other nominations? Then all in favor of Dennis?
Aye.
Aye.
It's
Happy to do it
unanimous. Thank you very much. We need to thank Jim Cameron for the enormous number of hours that he had to put in last week at it's not only installing a whole new system, but it's also doing it during a pandemic when you're still trying to not miss a meeting. That so we had limited windows to do it. So on behalf of all the board members, all the members of the advisory board, I want to thank you for all the hours that you put in to get it up and running and ready to go and getting everything else done too. So we didn't miss one meeting. So
That's
thank
right.
you.
You're very welcome.
Do you want to go over the CASTIS installation? And
yeah, let me give you an update. I hope you had a chance to look at the training video that I produced for the staff that is password protected on Vimeo right now. It was really designed to show the simplest of tasks, which is how to record a meeting and how to go live. It also gives you a pretty good look at what the interface looks like. That there's the beautiful thing about the CASTIS system is I can access it from the iPad that I'm using right now. I can start a recording, I can stop a recording. I can't set up the cameras, I can't set up the microphones. We're not using, live event type cameras and remote control for that. But I've been able to upload programs. I've been able to change the rotation. We've created some new bumpers and some promos, and I've been able to put that on. But let me back up to why we did this in the first place.
Looks good, Jim.
Thank you, Dave. When we started, we were only on Cablevision. That was our signal. We then added the Vimeo capability to look at shows that we've already aired on demand, stopping them and start them. That was very useful. Then we added also porting those recorded shows over to Facebook and YouTube, and we have a live feed on YouTube streaming every night from 4 to midnight. And we can also stream live on Facebook for important meetings as well. And I think over time, what we've seen is that the majority of our viewership migrated from the cable channel itself over to Vimeo because of the convenience, because of the on-demand feature. What was on our cable, because we were working off of a 6 DVD player rotation, was the same 6 meetings all week long, over and over again on the same rotation. And I mean, I put out a program guide that says if you really want to watch the sewer commission meeting, it starts at 3:22 p.m. and a.m. Tune in. And I doubt that anybody was actually going to do that. Maybe they set their TiVo. I think what they did instead was they went to the link and looked at the Vimeo. The beauty of the Castus is that we can run not 6 shows a week, we can run hundreds of shows. And what I have kind of conceived is we're going to still continue live coverage of meetings when we can. For example, this evening at 8 o'clock, we're going to carry the Planning and Zoning Commission live on Castus. I was just watching the camera operator, because I was watching the Castus, getting in there, getting set up, so I know she's there. That's reassuring. So we're still doing all the live meetings. We'll also be able to do live meetings from 213 in the auditorium and 119. We've also bought some remote units that will be able to go live for the first time from the library, from the Mather Center, and from anywhere else in town that has access to Ethernet.
And Darien Police.
And Darien Police.
In case of an emergency where we have pretty good distribution across multiple platforms.
So the live programming will still continue. And what, Carrie, you would appreciate this as a programming expert. I still think prime time is 6 to 10 at night. That's when people are probably doing most of their watching. And the pledge we've made is that if there's not a live meeting on that night, we will replay in that time block the most recent meetings. So if you missed last night's XYZ meeting, it may be on tonight unless we're doing something else live. We'll also repeat those meetings during the rest of the day, overnight, around the clock. But we're going to supplement that with all kinds of evergreen material. We have on Vimeo 1.8 thousand, almost 2,000 meetings that we've recorded and uploaded over the past 3 years. A lot of them are very dated. Nobody wants to watch the RTM Education Committee from 2019, but a lot of them are also specifically produced to be still of interest, evergreen as we call it in the business. So the Community Matters series, the Inside Town Hall series, PSAs, locally produced things that we shot at the library where they've had guest lecturers in. That's the material that's going to supplement a repeat of the more recent meetings during the rest of the day.
The COVID series. The
COVID PSAs, remind me to talk about that because there's some fascinating metrics about that. Very timely stuff. Also the safe boating, how to socially distance when you're boating PSAs that we did with the Power Squadron as well. The idea being it's another incentive to turn on channel 79 because you're never quite going to know what's going to be on. I mean, I can't put out a program guide every day because it's constantly changing. I'll take tonight's meeting of this board when I get it and put it up ASAP into the rotation. But there's always going to be something different there. And what we're trying to do is to drive viewer eyeballs who are just looking for, interesting stuff to come back and sample channel 79. They'll still get the live meetings. They'll still have it on Vimeo if they want to look at a particular board or commission. But it also gives us an opportunity to expand into more community programming. For example, we've carried stuff from the library before. The Darien Men's Association has excellent speakers that come in. We've recorded stuff from the League of Women Voters. DAF Media, in addition to carrying all of the great sports coverage that they do, has also produced some interesting kind of more generic programs about the town, about the schools, about the community. So we're answering some questions from the Board of Selectmen about what we mean by community content, etc. But my ambition is to really bolster the programming on the channel so that there's going to be a lot of stuff there. And people may not say, oh, I wonder what's on 79, but they might, surf their way past the channel and stop and see something like, oh, the history of Grand Central, that was a lecture at the library, or oh, somebody speaking to the Men's Association. So a lot of effort is going to be put into the using the Castas to its full capability. And there's quite a learning curve there. Cecil and Mike and I did a Zoom call the day after the Castas was installed for about 3 hours, and we basically scratched the surface on such fascinating issues as templates, metadata templates and things. This is a whole new world for me because I'm much more focused, as a programming guy from radio on, how to move the needle, make sure gets recorded. But the technology of the Castas as a server offers a lot more potential and opportunity that I think we're going to take advantage of going forward. So the long and the short of it is, it's working. I can access it sort of through a back door right now using, I won't even name the product, but we're waiting to get some help from the IT department in town to get a static IP address for the Castas server itself, which will allow us to control it directly, upload to it directly, and give us a lot more functionality. So we're still learning about how to, use lower thirds and graphics, but the programming is there. The response to the publicity that I sent out and copied you on has been quite good. I've heard from some community people that are, interested in the kind of things that we might be able to air. So the long and the short of it is, it was a bear that day to put it in, and it's been quite the, as Cecil referred to it, as drinking from a fire hose, trying to learn about the bells and whistles. But I will say this for the guy that installed it and is giving us the support, he's been there. I had a conference call with him on Zoom at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and he was there to answer my questions. So he's been there when we need him, and he's going to continue to be there. The community support that they offer for free for a year has been helpful as well. And it's working. So it's 90% of the way there.
And Dave, between you and Jim, the rest of the equipment that we got from the Darien Foundation is in. Dave, the cameras are in, and the switcher is in.
Yeah, the cameras, joystick, and switcher are in. I believe that they are able to be switched over and used directly into the Castas. I
Not
will
yet.
double check that tomorrow.
No, not yet. I spoke to Mike today. He's going to go in. We have our first meeting in the auditorium. Surprise. Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m., the Board of Selectmen's quarterly department heads meeting has been shifted to the auditorium for social distancing reasons. Mike has promised me, fingers crossed, he's going to get in and make sure that that new equipment, the switcher, the new cameras are all working in the auditorium in time for that shoot on Tuesday. Backup is we'll use a portable camera if we have to, but I'd like to show off the new gear.
Yep.
Next, and none of it would have been possible without the Darien Foundation.
Here, here.
And who have been terrific to work with. And I'm glad that it's a good time to send out a press release in at this time of year, because everybody picked it up. I mean, the distribution, I must have seen it. I saw it at places that I didn't even know existed before. So the list, it went to quite a list. One of the things that we talked about when everybody comes back in September and meetings start up is since we're going to have more programming than just government programming, that we have a Darien TV79.com, which we have purchased. And Sean and I have had some conversations, Cecil and I have had some conversations about could we, how difficult would it be to create a channel that would be, in essence, two parts. First part is like the Darien Athletic Foundation, where it would be just one URL that people would go to where they could see the live feed or any of the on-demand programs like you can at the Darien Foundation website. And then secondly, to be able to, while you're watching a meeting, be able to open a second window that has the agenda to that meeting. Being a distant second in, it would be nice to have, but if it's easy to do, it would be nice to have. So that
this is a website you're talking about, right?
This would be the web. So the Vimeo still exists, but you can. It's easy to embed Vimeo or the live feed from YouTube into what would be a YouTube channel. So so Vimeo would still exist. It would just be one URL that you would have to put in that someone could go to and could then subscribe to it through YouTube and be able to watch it on a big screen TV. We also have through Castus, but we're not going to worry about it now, is they've introduced a Roku channel, but it's just as easy to subscribe through YouTube to content.
Mike?
Yes.
I took a little time and threw together an extremely rudimentary website to look at that stuff. I don't know if you want to look at it. I mean, it's not very pretty, but it's sort of, I think it begins to show the shape of what it might be.
I'm looking at the, I'm going to make you the presenter. Do you want to present?
Can I? Well, all I really need to do is share a screen. I don't know if I can do that or not.
I
need to ask you to make me presenter, I guess is what it says.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make you the presenter.
Aesthetically, this is really pretty ugly, just for what it's worth. I'm just, I just wanted to get, okay, so I want to share this.
I'm used to using Zoom. I know how to do the stuff on Zoom. I don't know how to do it.
So you can see what's up there.
Yep.
Yep.
Like I say, this is very rudimentary. And what I've done here is just to include some stuff from Vimeo, but basically, you'd have more or less a menu like this, and you click on one of these things and it takes you to, it embeds Vimeo right here. And
nice.
You can watch it from within the site. You want to go to someplace else, you can do that just as easily. So we can embed this stuff from YouTube, Vimeo, wherever we need to. That's kind of not a problem. We can also. I'm going to let me see if I can reshare this. What I think I can do, and I have done a little bit, this is actually more difficult than the Vimeo. If I click that, what happens? No, I don't want to leave the meeting. Sorry, I should know better how to do this, but how do I stop sharing? Oh, never mind. Well, somewhere here. Anyway, I can, in fact, embed PDF next to the video. The other thing we can do is to, put a sidebar up that enables us to select by categories.
By playlist.
By playlist, so it'll be easy to have people be able to select Board of Education or Board of Selectmen or whatever, but also we can have them select by time period or by tags of subjects that are being considered. So there's a lot of flexibility. I thought I had put more categories on here, but evidently I did not.
Were you able to figure out how to embed the live feed as well?
Well, yeah, that's just basically it's just another embed of a video URL. I don't think there's anything seriously complicated about it. I started putting in the these categories, which are fundamentally, I guess, what we have as the channels currently in Vimeo.
It showcases. It showcases.
Showcases, exactly.
And show playlists in
right.
YouTube.
There'll be a search capability, which I'm hopeful is sincerely better than the one that we have on Vimeo currently. Anyway, this I was just exploring what can be done with it, and I just threw a few posts on it, but it seems to me to be something that pretty eminently doable.
Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think either WordPress. I actually, for stuff like this, I use Squarespace. Either one works. Mike and Jim, I actually just fired up a Squarespace site. I invited you as contributors, but you can ignore that for now. I didn't know we had someone working in WordPress, but yeah, I think
can I make you the presenter? Do you have anything that if I switch you as the presenter?
No, I'm not ready to present. I didn't get very far. All I did was create the Squarespace site. So, but it's similar. It's a CMS sort of blog. They have blogs and collections, so you can have like a collection of video posts that have metadata associated with them and allow for searching and things like that. But yeah, I think the thing to do, Mike, is if you want me, Cecil, if you need any help, I know WordPress pretty well, but if you need help with any of the heavy lifting, I'm here.
All right, so now I got to figure out what.
Awesome.
So I thought I'd gotten an invitation from you, so I got to, but that wasn't it. That was the have a great meeting. So I got to figure out how to stop sharing the other meeting. I can still view everybody. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, I passed the presenter back to you.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Doesn't this make for compelling television, everybody?
I think down in the bottom in the middle,
Yeah.
Mike, there should be a stop sharing button.
Can't the cast just fix this?
Yeah.
No, this is Mike's doing. Don't blame the technology, blame the operator.
Yeah, I said that's why I got new golf clubs and my golf game didn't improve. It's not the golf clubs. It's the person who's swinging the damn things. All right, so that's not all right. Well, so we'll just keep going it like this, and we'll have we don't have that. While we go through the rest of the agenda, I'll try to figure out. Well, so maybe I'll set up a call with Cecil and Sean and Jim, and we can talk about what's the most efficient way to see if it's possible. How hard is it, Sean or Cecil, do you think, to do the dual window where you have the agenda next to the meeting if the viewer wants that choice?
Well, I'll speak first. It's not difficult at all, except with one exception. it is surprisingly difficult to display PDFs. It's not hard to display them, but what almost all of these PDF viewers object to doing is presenting on my site a PDF from somebody else's site. So I've done a little exploration on that. It's a piece of cake to display that stuff if we want to load the PDFs to the actual TV79 website, which is a little tedious but not impossible. I've also found a add-in which I believe will also share the PDFs from a foreign website, but I still haven't figured out. I can't quite figure out without paying them money how effective it is. I've done it with one PDF, but it involves creating an actual widget to do that, and I'm not sure that that's effective to do. Anyway, the answer to the question is sure, it can be done. It's not rocket science, but I'd love to find something that could just reach out to the town of Darien store of PDFs, grab one and put it up on the screen. I was hoping to get that done before today, but I just was wrestling with getting it to display the foreign PDFs.
All the agendas are in PDF format.
Yep.
On the town website. That's what we link to in the program guide.
Right.
Yeah, Karen, a minute. Sean, do you have any thoughts?
If we can't get a plugin to work, there might be a piece of middleware that can take PDF content and stream it back to the browser in HTML. I don't know. Something
right.
We can look at.
That's certainly an alternative. It strikes me that if we can get something that will reliably just display a PDF, that's really going to be, a much easier thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, Mike, you had said like worst case, you just wanted it. Clearly, we can link to them, right, where they could just click it and it opens up.
That's
a new
not
browser.
a problem.
Yeah, that can be done easily. It's just displaying it in line. Because there's a lot of browser differences to how they handle PDFs. Some download the file and let the PDF viewer do it. Others display it in line in the browser. There's some complexities there.
Like today, Firefox just introduced, or I just saw that they introduced picture within a picture on their browser, both on the phone and on the computer, where you click a little button and you can continue working in your browser with the picture in a picture like TVs used to have, that the browsers have. So yours is the opposite, that continue to watch the video, but be able to click a window to be able to see the browser somewhere on the screen. But I'll send you some time so that next week maybe we can find a time to get together to talk about it for a half hour or 45 minutes.
Okay.
Jim, you want to do a budget update?
Yeah, the fiscal year ended and we spent 14% less money on camera operators than we did the year before. How does he do it, everybody? How does he achieve this extraordinary programming and not spend as much money? Well,
and they all got a pay increase.
Yeah, I got a pay increase too. I was a little worried when they gave them that pay increase that we weren't gonna. We have some Area 9 money for videographers that we probably have to dip into next year. But the reason we didn't spend as much money was in the second quarter we weren't doing as many meetings. And I sent you a draft of the report to the Board of Selectmen, which clearly indicates viewership was down between April and June. And a lot of the meetings were being done virtually like this on the GoToMeeting platform with Cecil's help, or as many people learned how to do it, just did it themselves and then sent us a link. So the budget was great. We came in saving the town some money this year. We're going to be, I think, well funded for next year. Let me segue, if I can, into some programming issues to complement the good news about Castus. The program guide has had record opens. The program guide is now up to 939 opt-in, most of them, subscribers. And this past week, with the good news about the installation of the Castus, we had a 41% open rate, which is extraordinarily high. It's usually in the low 30s. And the program guide is very popular because the Vimeo links are there, the agenda links are there, and I worked very hard to make sure they're accurate, sometimes more accurate than the town website calendar. But the problem we have is in staffing. Cecil has not left his house in 3 months. Dave has been out of business for 5 months. We have lost our best young camera operator, Kyle, who is now undergoing freshman year at West Point, and I hope he's doing well. But he was a godsend during the darkest hours of March and April and May. He was in there shooting meetings when no one else dared go into the building. I've had to go in and shoot meetings. The training that we usually do by pairing newbies up with seasoned people, a couple of the camera operators that we have who've been with us for a number of years are in the at-risk group. One's a mother of young children. Another is almost as old as Dave and I are, and neither of them feel comfortable having anybody in the booth with them. And I understand that, and I respect that. And I have given them the option of saying, no, I either shoot by myself or I don't shoot at all. So the number of people that are to be able to do training is down. I am actively recruiting. We have a couple of new trainees. One of them is a rising sophomore at Darien High School. Another has been recommended as a graduate of NCC's television program. I'm going to start training them this week. My intent is to have enough bench strength among the camera operators that come September, when the meetings pick up again, we're going to be able to staff everything. Because remember, in the busy time of the year, there are nights when we've had as many as 4 or 5 meetings simultaneously in various rooms with portable cameras, etc. And I take the Board of Selectmen's mandate to us to cover everything seriously. And I'm working very hard now to try and complement our staffing. And that will give us more programming come the fall when meetings kick up again.
So anyone else have any new business that they want to bring up or talk about? We need to thank Kate Bush too, because she did the research on they chose to use GoToMeeting rather than Zoom, which didn't make any difference. But it made in this budget year, it was so confusing and so difficult, where people normally could get together to have discussions on budget items. We had to depend on GoToMeeting, and if you follow the budget process closely, it was the being able to see it was invaluable in terms of how the budget after COVID had to be cut, and the dynamics. I think we captured extremely well the dynamics as how things unfolded. I don't know.
And Cecil deserves a lot of credit for working with Kate. We were able to carry the RTM meeting, which with how many 100 plus attendees, including the public, Cecil?
It was about
110 attendees for a lengthy meeting. And I think we streamed it live, or at least we did the audio live, and then we replayed it as well too.
Live. It was pretty boring because most of it was just Seth's
picture. Yeah. And then for Vimeo, we turned it into a radio show. It's audio only. But I think to the larger thing, not just the budget, as I told the Board of Selectmen, TV79 proved essential in this quarter by ticking the box of public access for the governor's specific emergency orders dealing with FOI. By being able to carry these meetings live, there were a lot of boards and commissions that didn't have to worry about public coming in and joining, either in person or virtually. So I think we have earned our stripes and credibility with anybody that didn't believe that people cared or would watch, as early skeptics, as Dave can attest, believe no one's going to watch this stuff. Well, they did.
As the number of meetings that I saw Cecil on as the captain of the ship, you know, when you said he hadn't left 1,000 in 3 months, he hadn't left that office in 3 months, and the number of meetings that he had to captain to make sure that, because the moderators couldn't see necessarily, or the person running the meeting, when someone wanted to be recognized, and Cecil was there to help a lot of chairs of a lot of committees make sure that people got heard when they wanted to hear, when you can only fit 12 people on a screen. Somebody's
pretty
got to
exciting.
pay attention to who's raising their hand and wants to talk, and who's muted and who's unmuted. So I guess the new businesses, I'll send out some times for next week that Cecil and Jim and Sean and I can get together to talk about the website, and I can update you from there. And Dennis,
And let me just ask everybody else if they have a chance to please look at this either the cable channel or look at our stream. Give me your thoughts, your feedback, your ideas. Is it too busy? Is there too much going on? What's missing? What can we add? And we'll make the Castus sing. It's now just kind of purring. It's purring consistently and doing a nice job, but we can make it absolutely sing.
It's going to make, the town has a television station now, and not just government access television, and so a lot of nonprofits we're going to be able to give a lot of exposure to that are struggling right now. That we're going to be able to give exposure to in the town.
And the more nonprofits and NGOs and community groups that we put on the air, the more their members are going to tune in and say, gee, I wonder when I'm going to see the Thus and Such meeting. So I think it's going to really, I mean, the buzz that we got off of the PR benefit from the launch, and the Darien Foundation's help in the publicizing of all that, I think will bring us some new eyeballs.
And so,
you know, that was a great PR article that you sent around, but I'm wondering what other ways of PR can we do? Because, I mean, this is fantastic, especially all the hard work you've just done and all the new programming that is going to be available. I just feel like we haven't reached everybody to tell everybody that this exists. And I'm really particularly thinking about the new people to town. Don't know of this great opportunity to see all of this program. And is there any thinking about continuing some kind of PR or any monies for some PR, whether it's a newspaper ad or, I mean, I don't know, but.
And there's social media too, of social media too, of hitting Facebook, you know, when we did a little bit of that, but not a lot. And when we start, if we start our own website, being able to put together a social media campaign could help too.
Well, Carrie, I think you make a very good point, because there are, as you know, I hear anecdotally and I see driving around town, there's a lot of new people coming to Darien. And I think one of the groups that might be a good liaison is to talk to the real estate community and let them know this is a selling point of Darien. Not only does it have great beaches and great schools and country clubs and trees and fresh air,
taxes
but
less than New York.
Low taxes. Taxes were lowered this year. But, you know, it's got a very active community television station. So I'd be happy to talk to you offline and get some more ideas. I don't think we need a budget. I mean, I do all this stuff on the cheap. I'm the kind of person that they love.
Even if it's you know, that's a great idea about the real estate agents. Even if it's a postcard that's in their pamphlet of information they give new homeowners, or you know, we can certainly brainstorm, but I just feel like there's an untapped audience out there still.
Right. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think is there Welcome Wagon anymore? Does that still exist?
I don't think it,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist, but
They used to have newcomers groups when I moved in
Yeah.
about years ago, but
Through the
no,
Y.
to my knowledge.
Yeah.
and so anybody want to get, so before we adjourn the meeting, anybody want to get in the pool on when we'll meet in person again? You think-
2021.
Not till 2021? You think town hall will be closed for meetings till 2021?
I don't know. I guessed short when we were starting this with my teacher fellows, so now I'm guessing long.
What does anybody else think? What do you think, Cecil?
I don't begin to have an idea, to be honest with you.
What do you
I
think,
think we
Sean?
should reserve. I think we should reserve comment, being the town TV station,
yeah.
or
Dave,
opine later.
it'll be interesting to see if we're back, if town hall opens up in the fall for meetings, or people feel more comfortable with this
Right.
format for a while longer than we would have thought. So if anything, if no one has anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a
Second.
Dave seconds. Thank you all. Those
Thank
of
you for the
who are on
invitation to attend.
Thank you for
very much.
joining, people. And
Stay safe.
And
Thanks for sharing it.
we'll move ahead in the next 3 months, both on the website and on a media strategy for September, and cover that at the next meeting in October.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Big kudos, as you mentioned, go to Jim.
You're welcome. Happy to do it. See you later, guys.
Bye.